We don't want them to run their play. A lot of teams will scout and know what the play's coming, and they just let them run their play. No, we want to take away their first option or their second option and get to their third option.
Welcome to episode 8 of Game Time. Today I'm talking with Anthony Bozzella, head coach of the Seton Hall women's basketball program. Coach Bozzella shares great tips on how to build relationships with your players in a way that instills confidence and helps them achieve success. We also talk about defense, rebounding, his use of analytics. We get into a lot in just a 20-minute conversation. Let's get to it. So one of the things that I love to ask first to help the listeners of the podcast understand your philosophies and what you value coaching is, what do you want your team identity to be at Seton Hall?
Well, thank you for having me on, Dan, and I appreciate it. And I'm a big follower of you and what you guys do, and I thank you for that. And I'm excited to be on. I'm a very passionate coach. I want players to play with passion. I want them to live their life with passion, a lot, and believe in confidence, and those things are really important. And what I'm trying to instill here is a level of confidence in them so they can be passionate.
That's great. So speaking of which, I have a question right off the bat about a particular player. Jada Eads has gone from first 5 games that in her college career, she averaged 7 points, 6 points, somewhere around there. In the last 10, she's been unbelievable, over 18 a game, almost 2 steals a game. Has that confidence that you've helped instill in her, and I'm sure her inner confidence, has that been part of the turnaround or the adjustment?
I think it's helped a little bit. I think she's got a strong relationship with my staff. I have, a former All-American guard and Khadijah Simmons on my staff, an all-time great here at Seton Hall, and she's been a great mentor to Jada, and I think that's helped her. And we didn't start Jada right away. 1, because Coach Bozzella is not that smart, but 2, she had missed about 4 weeks with a sprained ankle. So she really didn't play in any exhibition games. She didn't practice leading up to our first game very much. Now, we knew she was talented. Honestly, she's even more talented than I thought. My staff has been telling me the whole time that she is. So I give them credit. I mean, I knew she was very good, don't get me wrong, but this is a different level of very good. So I wanted to slowly work her in and then build her confidence up. I think if you see how she played against USC, you're like, wow, and then you see how she played against LSU and everybody else, it's getting in her rhythm and doing all those things.
So I have a question. You had a big win 2 nights ago at Marquette. Yeah. Now you go to Connecticut on Sunday. What do the next 2 days look like before a big game like that? What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow to prepare?
Yeah, we gave them off yesterday because we got back at 4 a.m. And today, we had a practice. We were originally just going to do like a walkthrough, and the girls were like, no, we're good. We're going to practice. So we tried to keep it to an hour and a half. But, we went over Seton Hall stuff first. I wasn't happy as I look at my notes from today's practice, and this was it actually here. I'm not afraid to share it with you guys. But one of the things that we need to do is get back our identity, our shell, get back to our defensive principles. We had kind of gotten away from that. So that was really important, especially on ball screen coverage. We weren't doing as good a job as we normally did. And this is a solid defensive team. And then we had a nice breakdown segment where we worked on some individual skills and did a lot of 5-0 on our offensive end, going through our motion and our spread offense and all that stuff. And then obviously, just then putting your principles of defense into the scout of UConn. So we did that. And then tomorrow we will not go more than an hour and a half because right now at this time of year, we want to keep our legs. Jade is young, so, she's not used to this grind. And then we have 3 or 4 fifth-year seniors, and the grind is really worn on them. So it's a balance for sure.
So speaking of defensively, you create a lot of turnovers defensively.
We do.
Is there anything specifically, defensive philosophy or practice-wise that helps you lead to that?
Yeah, we spend an inordinate amount of time on the scout, and our girls have adopted to really understand it and know what's coming. We don't want them to run their play. A lot of teams will scout and know what the play's coming, and they just let them run their play. No, we want to take away their first option or their second option and get to their third option. We don't go for crazy steals on the first pass. We try and stay disciplined in our principles and be in help. But after that, we start to know the play and read, and we encourage our girls to shoot the gap and defend that way. I think we also are one of the best pressing teams I've ever had here in 12 years. It's not a crazy all-out in-your-face press. It's more of a positional press, and we've been very effective with it.
Yeah, I noticed. Is it the 1-2-2 and trap the
Yes.
sides? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Very good. Yep.
They get a lot of turnovers off of that. Just on
We
ball
do.
pressure alone. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We have great people on Yaya Lopes, Messiah Hunter, and Janaya Fitzpatrick, Bland. They are tremendous on the ball in the 1-2-2.
So one of the other things that I noticed when I look at your stats, I mean, injuries have inflated this a bit, but you have 9 players that have played more than 16 minutes a game. They all contribute when they're out there. What do you do coaching wise to help them stay ready when they get in the game?
I always talk about everyone's going to get their chance, and I truly believe that, Dan. Everyone's going to get their chance at Seton Hall. We scrimmage almost every day. I played Jacayla Kraft against Marquette, 10 points, 5 rebounds. She hadn't played much before, but she had a great week of practice. That morning shoot around, she had great energy. She shot the ball fantastically, and she earned a right to go into the game. Now, when she went in, she made a shot, but the first play of the game, the first play she was in, she dove headfirst on the ball and got the ball on the floor. And I'm like, this girl's locked and ready to go. So she earned some minutes. Now, if she shot poorly or didn't rebound, her minutes would not have been what they were. But what did she do? She got on the floor, grabbed a rebound, made a layup, hit 2 threes, made another layup, and all of a sudden she's with 10 points and 5 rebounds. And they're like, oh, wow, Coach B played her. No, she earned that playing time. And not just that day, leading up to it, but that morning she shot the ball with, a good rhythm, broke a sweat. She gave me confidence to put her in. And I tell all our kids, I want to play you all. I recruited all of you. You have to give me confidence to put you in. That's with Janaya Fitzpatrick as well. She didn't play the first 9 games of the year. We were going to redshirt her. We had a lot of injuries. She came in the office and goes, Coach B, I know you need me. I'm ready to go. And she came in, just played so confidently and so well. I'm really proud of these kids. It's been a hard fill-in. Hopefully we'll get one of our injured players back in a week or two, but we might not get anyone else back after that.
So defensively, you don't play a lot of zone. You had to, I'm assuming because of injuries against LSU a little more than you maybe wanted to.
We did.
But you also throw in zones to catch the offense off guard. Against Marquette, you ended the game on a zone on the side out. Against Georgetown, you did at the end of regulation, got a steal in overtime to seal the game. Do you like to do that to throw it in to throw off the offense? Or is it something that you have in the back pocket scouting-wise, it's going to work?
I think it's a combination of both. And I have to tell you, I'm not doing this to kiss your ass. That is phenomenal to research that and to do that. We do love to play zone at different times, especially out of timeouts. We trap a lot out of it as well because we want to get the team off balance. We do study their zone offense extensively, so we know what we're doing out there, and then we, depending on who the opponent is, we adjust our zone accordingly. We just do it to change the rhythm. We think a lot of times they call a man play out of the timeout, and we also think out of a timeout in zone, we know what they're going to do a lot easier than man. They have a lot more man sets than they do have zone sets, so we're able to be ready for that.
So is that something that you talk about in practice the day before or days before as well?
Absolutely. The day before, the day of, we go through all the end of the game situations. And as a staff, the person who's in charge of the scout has probably their last 8 to 10 end of the game plays on film for us to watch.
Nice. So you're well prepared.
We have a tremendous staff. 2 veteran former head coaches in Jose Rabimbas and Pete Sanella. 2 tremendously young, smart, assistants in Cassandra Calloway and Dee Dee Simmons. Maidobo played for me as well, Shakina Richardson. So we have a lot of experience and a lot of former great players, but also a lot of experience coaching games.
I have a question for you practice-wise. How do you structure your practices kind of high level, I guess, in terms of offense, defense, transition, skill development?
We always have a 15 to 20 minute warm up, which Coach Jose Ribbon Bus puts together, and it varies from ball handling. We do ball handling every day. We do a 5-minute breakdown segment every day in it. Some days we focus more on transition. Some days we focus more on passing or shooting. So we do that for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the day. Then we do a 5-0 transitional segment from 7 to 10 minutes where they get a good run in. Then we'll do 1 to 2 running drills, rebound, outlet, long pass, throw the ball ahead. We beat Villanova on rebound, outlet, long pass. We really did. We caught the ball, we rebounded it, we threw it up. That was the outlet, long pass, faith for a layup. So we do 2 drills a day, and that gets our running in. And then we go into, we start with a 6 to 8 minute defensive principle shell. We do a little bit more 5-0 offense. We'll do a defensive transition that morphs into an offensive transition drill. And then we go back to whatever scout or whatever we do. And we always throw 6 minutes of our press in there as well.
So you had mentioned rebounding and it got the win Villanova. I have a question about rebounding specifically. There's only 4 teams, I think, with a positive rebounding margin in the Big East right now, and you're one of them.
Yes, and that's usually been a weakness.
Yeah. So you're top 3 in rebound and rebound margin, top 2 in offensive rebounds. However, your leading rebounder only has 5 rebounds a game. It's kind of a team rebound. Is that part of the philosophy as well?
It is, because we have not had the ability in the past few years of getting in just a big kid to rebound or an athletic kid to rebound. So we really demand a lot of our guards. Dan, a lot of rebounding out of our guards. So we do that, and they're tough. We get a lot of long rebounds. Jade is one of the best that I've ever coached, and getting a long rebound and going with it after that too. She has a great anticipation skills on that.
Yeah, she's very, very high basketball IQ. It's fun to watch.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What about stats wise? What kind of stats do you guys track on the bench that you feel helps you, like non-box score kind of stats that feel?
I'm so happy you asked that question. We employ on a part-time basis Mike Loeffner and Adam Ellis, 2 young men that are analytics experts, and they separately, not together, separately give me an analytical report before each game. So how many possessions does this game have to be for us to win? How many do we have to keep it under? What is their strength? When they make X amount, they win. When they don't get to this number, they lose. So we have this analyzed to the high heavens. And I have 2 separate people do it, because you'd be surprised. They each could have a different factor, but there's always 1 or 2 factors they agree on. And those are the ones that we really focus. So for example, in the Marquette game, we had to keep the possessions under 68. They had to have under 68 possessions for us to win. They had 66. So in the Creighton game, they had to have under 68. They had 69. Well, we lost the Creighton game by basically 1 or 2 possessions, and we won the Marquette game. So that stat alone is important. They also analytically rate every one of our players on the offensive and defensive end, just by numbers. So, for example, we have a starter that had been 2 or 3 on defense. She's dropped down to 8 in the past 3 or 4 games. So we had a chat with her. It wasn't because she wasn't trying. It was maybe for a variety of reasons. But we made her aware that, you're struggling with this, so how can I help you?
That's great. So they're getting constant feedback through those analytics as well.
Absolutely. And, so I'll give you a good example. So I was playing golf with Yonder Alonso, a former Major League Baseball player for the Miami Marlins and a variety of other teams. And he's very close friends with Shane Battier of the Miami Heat. So he started talking to me about analytics. I'm like, yeah, I kind of go by gut and feel. He goes, Tony, let me ask you this question. If I gave you the answers to a test, would you do better on it? I said, yes. He goes, well, that's what analytics is doing. They're giving you the answers. So ever since that day, I found these 2 guys who are amazing guys. And that's what we do. We have an analytic report. We actually have a meeting. Like we had a meeting this morning with these 2 guys on analytics. It's really, Dan, it's unbelievable. Now, you still have to still coach by feel a little bit. You can't just use plus minus as the end all, but these guys are dead on accurate with their analytics and how to win or lose.
That's amazing. So I can tell a bunch of different characteristics that you have just from this conversation, but is there a characteristic that you feel every successful coach needs to have?
I think I try and show as much love to my players as possible. I'm a big hugger. I'm a big, try and speak to each kid every day in the line to stretch or in the line of layups or whatever, and just tell them, listen, how's your day? School okay? Did your brother win last night in his AAU game, high school game? So I'm trying to do that. So those little things are really important to me. And it's hard. I mean, I have two former players on staff. I've had a lot of former GAs go through in the past few years. A lot of my managers have become my GAs. We have like 4 or 5 GAs. My 2 analytical guys were my GAs for a while. So like, I want them to just feel like a sense of family. And I think we've really accomplished it more than ever lately. And it's hard because we lose kids every year through graduation or the portal.
You've been coaching since 92 as a head coach, I think.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, what do you think is the biggest difference? Players from that team or those teams would watch you and think, oh, he wasn't like that when he coached us. What do you think is the biggest difference?
Well, I think you have to be a little more tact in how you talk and a little bit more. You have to still make sure they know you love them, and it's hard because it's not the portal; it's the immediate transfers that kill you. Because I recruit a lot of transfers because I believe in second chances and putting people in their correct position to be successful. But really, I think what's different is you have to understand that social media and different they have different people getting to them than in the past. It used to be only mom or dad or the high school coach. Now we have AAU coaches. Now we have fans. Now we have agents. Now we have this. So I'm fighting a lot of different people talking to them as opposed to just one.
Yeah, I guess it's forcing all the coaches to be a lot more adaptable now.
Yeah. And I think if I don't adapt, I'm not going to be successful. So, I want to still stay and be successful. So I want to adapt. It also helps that when you get the right group of kids. And this year we have a tremendous group of kids. We really do. Like Faith Masonis has come into this program. I've known Faith since 9th grade and she's come to this program. She's been the mom. She's galvanized everyone together and been an amazing kid. We were able to keep a kid, Amari Wright, for 5 years. I mean, that never happens. And she's just, epitomizes everything about Seton Hall basketball. So we're very fortunate with that.
All right, Coach, I'll get you out on this. I call this the fast break portion. Just a few questions, short answer. We'll just get into it. There's Team A is the best offensive team in the country, mediocre defensively, or Team B, best defensive team, mediocre offensively. Who would you rather coach?
I'd rather coach the offensive team because I can teach the defense. If you can't shoot the ball and score, you can't be successful. And everyone's going to be like, yeah, everyone's the answer is defense. But we'll teach the defense. It's hard for me to teach you to score the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, good.
Yeah. What's one thing that you're trying to get better at coaching-wise?
I just, again, to even be able to spend a little more time and to understand where they're coming from. Listen, I'm 59 years old. I have a 28-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old son, almost 25-year-old son. He'll be 26 this year. I have to understand them, but I enjoy talking to them and they help me adapt and do all those things as well. So what I'm trying to do is just, again, figure out where these kids are coming from, understand where they're coming from. I might not agree with it, Dan, but I have to understand where they're coming from and understand what they're going through. And I'm trying to be, to do as much reading and research and just listening to these kids. I want to listen to these kids. I might not agree, but if I listen to them, I can coach them a lot better.
What do you feel is the best or most effective way to improve someone's basketball IQ?
I think we try. My staff does a tremendous job of watching a lot of film with them. That we spend a lot of individual film time with the kids. I'm no more than a 15-minute, 12-minute to 15-minute team-oriented film. After that, it's all over the place. I mean, you have to adapt. Back when I was at Southampton and even probably LIU, even Iona, we used to have 3-hour film sessions. I think back, I'd be like, what an idiot I am. I wasted my time as much as their time because I got nothing. And, my former associate head coach, one of my closest friends, Lauren DeFalco, she'd be like, remember those 3-hour film sessions you used to have? She's like, I used to doze off when the lights were out. I'm like, I know, I don't blame you, And meanwhile, I'm an idiot thinking everyone's listening. So, you learn a lot, but we do a lot of individual film sessions. And we try to tell them to watch games. I think it's important.
Last question for you. If I'm coming to South Orange Village, New Jersey to watch a Seton Hall women's game, what's one restaurant that I should go to and a site to see?
Bunny's Pizzeria is great. It's family owned for almost 100 years. They have a lot of memorabilia. They treat our teams great and our fans great. It's right in town. Tremendous thin crusted pizza. Fantastic, tremendous Italian dishes. Like I said, family owned forever, and they're wonderful people, without a doubt. And I think you need to go up to the High Lawn Pavilion, also owned by one of our former Seton Hall alums, the Frangillo family. Tremendous high end food, but what you have to see is the overlook. It's the highest point in the state of New Jersey, and you see beautiful views of New York City. We go up there as a team, have a great meal, and take some beautiful pictures.
Awesome. Coach, I want to thank you.
I just want to say it's also a tremendous 9/11 memorial area, and there's a lot of history there as well.
That's great. Coach, I want to thank you for your time. I know you have a big game on Sunday. I'm looking forward to watching it and cheering you on. And best of luck. Thank you for your time.
Dan, thank you. I really enjoyed the show, and you did as much research as anyone I've ever met. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.